Hey everybody, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe, right, I wanted to go over all of my most used Warframes, weapons, utility, like companions, secondary stuff. I just wanted to go over my most used everything, so thank you Twitch and YouTube stream chat for joining me. As always, if you appreciate it, like, sub, join the YouTube, Twitch, and all the social medias down below because, yeah, you know how it is. The struggling life of a YouTubeman. Also, now Twitter shows views on tweets, and I think that's hilarious. So, my most used Warframe, we'll straight up go by usage count here to make it a little easier. Hey, thank you for subbing Chaos Devil. Protea, as you can see, is without a doubt my most used Warframe. It's my most used Warframe for the past probably year or two, and I will always use her because she's now my favorite, like without a doubt. Her general build that I'm using is this. You can throw on a ton of different builds. It doesn't matter. They're all really good. Protea is awesome. Even without range, you could have more range, you could have less range. I think range mainly helps her turret, IMO, with the shooting range on that, but it's not necessary, but you can give it some more. Always up to you. This is my goofy build that I oh so love. So judge it if you will, but hey, Protea, 10 out of 10, would Protea again. Other than that, my usage count for Warframes goes as like Excal Umbra. I haven't used him a ton this past year, but I love Excal still, okay? He is #1 poster boy because Sword goes swoosh, and this is the general build I have on him. And he's just a fun frame, a classic Warframe, but to be honest, haven't used him a ton this year. I use Volt a lot because speed is fast and Eidolon hunting and shielding is cool, right? But mainly speed. Don't use him a ton this year because I didn't really do too much with him, but still good. Used Wukong, I think, a decent amount. He's just always a nice frame. You can have your little clone idling doing some good damage, and then you can like target for that huge damage boost on the clone, stuff like that. Rhino, favorite, love him, good for just tankiness in general. Used him casually. Same with Wisp, Saren, Oberon. I've used all these frames casually well. Wisp is getting her prime, so that's gonna be friggin' sweet. And Saren prime is just great. Oberon prime is just like a classic, good, casual frame that I like. So yeah, judge that as you will. And those are the builds for like the most used stuff I've used. Now, usage on my guns. As you all probably know, I am in love with the Exceltra because automatic crit gun go burr, and this is my goofy build on him. Just a casual 130% crit chance with 8.6 crit multiplier, and it's a viral slat, well, it's impact by default, but it's a viral there and then slash here. So you can get some slash procs off, especially once you throw on hunter munitions, right? So that's where the damage really comes in with that viral slash. Oh, love it, mwah. It's not the strongest gun though, okay? The gun isn't the strongest nowadays because, you know, it just has low damage numbers, but it's still a favorite. I love it. Ammo problems and everything because of the AoE nerf, but I don't care. Exceltra fanboy for life. Other guns, haven't used these two a ton this year. These were like original guns I used a lot, but not anymore, right? These were early Warframe. Ah, we got the Tenant Archiplasmor. This bad boy is a favorite without a doubt. Does an insane amount of damage. Haven't bothered to max it. That's a lot of effort. I just have this shenanigans on it, right? And it's just mwah. It'll kill everything in the game. This thing's ridiculous. I love it. You can't go wrong with the Tenant Archiplasmor, right? Some other notable guns that I've used a ton. Ignis Wraith is always one of those classics just because it's just fire and death. Always love it. Made many videos around the beautiful Ignis Wraith because it's such a good gun, right? Then we have other stuff like Rubico Prime, which is mainly good for bossing, Eidolon, hunting, but it's still a good gun overall if you like snipers, so always chuck this on, use it once in a while, right? This is my build. It could probably be better, could probably be worse, what have you, but still overall decent. Everything from there I just casually use because good. Cedo good, love it. Tenant Envoy good, great. Tonkor used it before Kuva Tonkor came out. And yeah, even with all the AoE ammo nerfs, it's okay. But you got a lot of like really good Warframes and weapons, and the Rubico Prime just slaps overall, along with any other high damage, good build sniper. Because you can just see like, and they're all dead. Oh no, it only has like 2 punch through right now, right? And then you build up the damage, ramp it, and everything just dies. It's a good gun. There's a lot of good guns like that, etc, etc. Then I can just pick them off one by one. Ha ha ha. So, always build for that sweet damage. That's kind of it for primaries. Let's go move on to my secondary. Usage is Axoletto Primes. I actually still like these weapons. I just haven't used them a ton in this past year. So they're still pretty cool. They're more of a status weapon, if you can see here. So throw on that viral heat and then you can just auto with melee. So it makes sense how I've been using them. Still good, but not OP. Kuva Nukor, still ridiculously OP because built-in radiation, I have gas on it. This might be a meme build and I wouldn't take it too seriously, but it's a great build after you just literally throw around some elements and maybe don't have impact as the Kuva joining thing, or Kuva like prognator, whatever. So rip on that, don't worry about it. It's still great, still great. Tenet Cycron, naturally, also OP. It's pretty much a Kuva Nukor. These are like two of the same weapons, and they're both really good. This gun, as you can see, with numbers like that, you're not going wrong using it no matter what. It could have a higher crit multiplier, because I think I have just like, yeah, Prime Target Cracker on and Prime Pistol Gambit. Could be higher, but that's okay. Still ridiculously strong. As you can see, radiation viral. Yeah, you're not going to have a bad time with that. Pretty much Kuva Nukor. Then you have ridiculous guns like the Latum with the Angels of the Zariman update. This is just pretty much the best secondary right now, I would say, if you want just fuck off damage, right? You don't build it for crit multi because it doesn't do that. Instead, it just ups its damage 2000% when it doesn't crit sometimes. So yeah, such a goofy way to build these, but I love them because it frees up some more mod slots, which means you can throw on even more damage, even more elements. And this isn't even a perfect build or anything like that. It's just like what I decided to throw on. So it's such a good secondary primary. Yeah. It's pretty much secondary melee primary. This thing's just god, okay? And some then noticeable favorites, like things like the Tenet Detrin. Azima, swear to God, this is only there because I was memeing around with this thing for so long, and I was just dicking around. I think this was more like olden times, but I don't even use this gun. I have no idea how its usage is so freaking high. Probably just threw it on as my secondary and then AFK'd my life away for months on end, but that's okay. Kuvasir, cool weapon, not a favorite. Tenet Spyrex, cool. Ek Bronco Prime, I really like these. They're pretty decent. Piranha Prime, Tenet Diplos. And then just general weapons that I use sometimes here and there. Epitaph, still strong as hell. So those are my most used secondaries, right? Now let's go on to melees, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, I think the Azima was, like, this thing was OP because of its secondary fire, which was a little turret. So that's probably why I ended up using it a lot. It's pretty much like an AoE Fletchet Orb, or just little auto turret that just shoots in an AoE. So that's the shtick behind that. Either I used it a lot or I just AFK'd on it. So, Paracesis has always been my most used because I love big swords go swoosh. As you can see, the war is right beside it. So, big swords go swoosh. This is the general build. It's not like it's a perfect build. Tempo Royale as always. But as always though, combo builds will do overall more damage, especially because like Sacrificial Pressure isn't needed. And Prime Pressure Point will just end up being slightly better other than the crit, right? So maybe, probably want to take off Sacrificial Pressure and put on a whole nother mod. But yeah, combo builds go burr hard. There's a lot of other types of builds you can do. Paracesis just so great. From there, the war building would generally be the same. I just love this weapon because it looks dope as hell. Even though it's like impact, oh no, people dog on it a little too much because it's not like super OP, but the base numbers are not that bad, as you can see. Like, look at that shit. That's not fucking bad at all. What's wrong with you people? People dog on the war way too much, for sure. It could have higher numbers, but it could have way lower numbers, so it's still a good one, other than the fact that it has high impact damage, but you just build better, nerds. So, great weapon. People hated on it too much, and I make fun of them. I love the Mios for a long time. Just high attack speed, general decent enough status weapon with some crits. So I liked it. I like the stances for this, but I pretty much build most melees pretty standardly, like boringly. So wouldn't worry about this too much, right? More of a proper build without throwing on the other sacrificial mod and just throwing on more damage primers for condition overload, viral with decent slash. So yeah, it's a good weapon, don't get me wrong. Good weapon, moi. And I think, does it have an inherent toxin? Maybe it just has like slash attack. Let me check again. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, it still does have inherent toxin, so can't go wrong with that. Just throw that on for more. Swap that out for better build. But from there, I just have decent enough stuff that's good and strong. Broken War, fan favorite amongst many. Look at that ridiculous crit chance, right? There's a reason a lot of people use this over the War. It's better. Tenet Grigori, really strong, really good. Look at that frickin' status. Crit's not as good. Higher crit chance, but crit multi's low. Definitely a good status though. Look at that. Oh my god, such a good weapon. Plus I have the candy cane skin on it. Moi. Rumblejack is an insane status melee, right? Because it comes inherently 40% and it has high base damage, right? The base damage of a thing like Rumblejack is higher than friggin' big fuck off swords like War, Paracesis, higher than the Mios. It has an insanely high base damage of 300, which surprisingly, if you're looking through all of these weapons, even the Tenet weapons with added elements on them aren't hitting 300. So you gotta remember that. It has a high damage number. So all of these weapons, Hespar, Tenet Liveria, Tenet Exec, these are all great weapons and I loved using them for a while. Hespar was a lot of fun, just build it overall like this, normal stuff. Most of my Tenet stuff I built pretty similarly, right? Like this is a Wise Razor. Could have better stances on two-handed Nikanas, but still pretty cool. So all those melees, moi, love it. Exalted melees, those are exalted melees, so you know what's up there. So now for my companions, these are pretty important. Usage, these, okay, so the reason I use a ton of Helios Prime, most of you are probably aware of this, is scanning. He just scans stuff. So a lot of early and mid game, I would use Helios Prime because vacuum OP, but then later on, because scanning. Investigator is, you know, it's good. It's just because I scan things. I want everything scanned, and that's literally it. Eventually, vacuum just became more of a universal thing for everything, but yeah, Warframe has had a history of really bad companions, and like just kind of being rude and bad with how they create and use companions. So yeah, that's pretty important, okay? He's a scanner, and he was originally a vacuumer, and that's kind of it. He had other stuff that was like decent enough, right? But like that was the main reason. So that's just bad game design. Still is. Companions IMO, a lot of their reasons out there, like just kind of annoying and shitty. So yeah, you got Carrier Prime. Sheesh. So I think Carrier, was it Carrier the one that originally, what is this? Okay, well that's a slight bug, but I think maybe Carrier was the one that originally had vacuum. Maybe he was, that's the reason like he was higher up there, right? That's why Carrier and Carrier Prime are up there. I think I was getting like Helios confused. Helios was always Scanny Boy, and maybe Carrier before was Vacuum Boy. Or maybe it was just robotic, I don't know. I'm so bad with like remembering now. But the reason I have my favorites as like Sly Vulpaphyla, Panzer Vulpaphyla boys, you'll see pretty easily. It's because they're ridiculously OP, and where is it? They just come back to life. Oh no, that one's decent. Where's the other one? Maybe it is only on my Sly Vulpaphyla. Either way, the Panzer Vulpaphyla is great. Look at that, hits inherent viral. I know there's one. We'll make it so that it regenerates, and I can't remember it. Where are you, Sly Vulpaphyla? Is it the Martyr one, or is it just... No, it's Sly Devolution. Okay, that's the one. Whew. So this is why I love Sly Vulpaphyla. It devolves into its larval form upon death. Just makes it respawn infinitely, so it's great. Okay, you just can't go wrong with that. And then the Panzer Boy is so great because of all his other stuff. Like, look at that, Viral, Panzer Devolution. That's the one. It also has the like devolution. I just couldn't read between the lines and read things. So the fact that they can infinitely revive and it has built-in like viral status and attacks and other good stuff, great, awesome. The Sly Vulpaphyla, moi, same thing there. You can also have that stuff. Also has Martyr Symbiosis for like heals, and it has other good stuff, right? You can throw on Survival Instincts if you want. Increases their Master's Evasion by plus 40% until their next attack, right? Good enough, not too shabby. And then really you just have the Smita Kavant, because drop rate increase is all you really care about on that. Where are you? Mischief, Scavenge, Charm. So that's it. Smita Kavat has a 28% chance every 27 seconds to bestow its owner with good fortune. So that's why Smita Kavat's OP, because that one mod is so great, which is, yeah. It's kind of, companions in Warframe could have better game design because there are some, or like 2, 3, which are just so much better than all of the others, and it just kind of sucks, right? Like Sly Vulpaphyla, Panzer Vulpaphyla are some of the best if your companions die, aka if you're running high enough level missions, Steel Path at all, right? Because things just die so freaking much. So yeah, Helios Prime is good if you want to like scan things. Carrier Prime is, I don't think necessary anymore. He used to be great because like vacuum and then maybe some ammo. Yeah, Carrier Prime I don't care about. And then Smita Kavat's great because better drop rates, and that's about it. Like I only care about these 4 companions now. And even then it's like, meh. There we have Kubros, which are really cool looking and really dope looking. But yeah, a lot of companions just kind of there to be there. So I wish they were better, but that's the common Warframe issue, right? Has a lot of things, but not a lot of use for things. Now, we have my Tenno loadout for all of my like space shenanigans. This one matters less. Odinata Prime purely because I just used it for the longest time. That's about it. I don't care about Archwings at all. But if you like the abilities, you like the abilities. This is just like the first Prime one I got. Amnesia now because I think it has an invisibility. No, that was the other one. But this one just has a lot of like buffs and stuff that you can throw around. So that's kind of why I do that. Not even a huge reason, just Crit Beacon that draws enemy fire, converting damage into healing pulses, right? It's a good passive kit overall. Just throw your stuff down and then you're good. So I think that's why I'm using more Amisha now, but I really don't care about most Archwing. I don't think a lot of people do. Maybe the Itzel's the one that goes invisible, can't remember. Most used here should be pretty obvious. It's the Mossalon. This is just ridiculous. Look at the friggin' stats on this bad boy, right? Like what? My god, look at that radial attack. What? More damage multiplier. Look at that. Oh geez. Oh geez. Yeah, the damage numbers on it are just so freaking insane. So look at that. It just does too much damage. That's all. The Mossalon's just stupid. Right? You look at these numbers too, and it's just all like, oh god. These are the regular attacks, right? This is the charged attack, don't get me wrong. But even the regular attack's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll fuck with that. I'll fuck with that. So, it's really good. It's very strong. Other than that, the rest I use are just regular whatever stuff. I like the Kuva Grattler. It's a Kuva one. It's strong. Enough said. I like the Kuva Ayanga, but just not as much as the Kuva Grattler. And I need to level it, but I don't run Archwing a lot. So, that's kind of all I do with those. It doesn't really matter a ton. IMO, but Archwing. For some reason, oh yeah, this one's just so over forma because they require 5 forma, so never running out of capacity on this bad boy, for sure. The melees are the same. I don't care about literally any of the melees for Archwing, so it doesn't matter. But hey, if you want to look at my build, my most used has 30 capacity, so that should kind of show you what I think about Archwing. And I was leveling this slowly because I should have a leveled melee, but I legit don't care. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Anyways, the heavy gun I threw here was just so I could level it. Mossalon's still better. K-Drive sucks. K-Drive is just K-Drive, right? Do whatever you want, but K-Drive does not matter. Now, the Necramech, this is the last one that really matters. Most used is Void Rig. That shouldn't be a surprise there because the other one's just not as good. And the mods that I have on it are everything I could throw on, really. And it could probably be better, but oh well, still strong. OP, OP. Void Rig is just a ridiculous behemoth tank monster, so never mad at him. I'm just not mad, okay? If you were ever mean to Void Rig, he will tell me and I will hit you. In-game, of course, I'll spawn up my Warframe and nuke you. And the obvious reason why the mech is so ridiculously OP is because the Arquebex. This is its like 4th ability weapon, and the damage on it is just like, what the fuck is this? What is this? Warframe even nerfed this like once, right? Once or twice. Same with Mossalon. It's just so strong. It's just insanely good. You can see the default attack also has 100% crit chance and 100% or like a ridiculous crit multi. So yeah, this is the single reason why the first Necramech is so ridiculously strong. It's because they gave it a nuke fourth ability, and it's an automatic gun with infinite ammo because it's like a toggled activatable mode where it just drains your energy. So if you have Protea, no joke, you throw down a little dispensary right where your mech is, and you have their infinite energy now, so you'll always be shooting off your fourth. So yeah, there you go. Archwing is just so ridiculously good. It's just, it just makes the Void Rig put the Bone Widow mech to goddamn shame. This is the funny thing. I'm like, sort by usage. I've used the Bone Widow more. That's funny. Oh my, I've used Bone Widow more. Legit only reasons, probably because I had to just level her more and then I forgot to take her off. I can see no other reason than that. Legitimately no reason than that. So that is my most used, strongest, best, if you will, Warframes and Weapons, all gear loadouts that I've been using for the past like year or two. So I do appreciate everyone watching, taking a look at all that. As always, thank you. Sub, like, check out Twitch, YouTube, all the social media, everything in the description. And I do have an Epic Games creator code Pupsker. If you buy anything from Warframe or any other game on the Epic Games Store, it helps out. So thank you, thank you. Cheers, follow, and I'll see you next time. Yeah.